Hi Libra, this is going to be your art channeled message. I channel messages through art, creativity. I really hope my messages inspire you to see the art within yourself, to be yourself, because we all start from zero, which is just a blank canvas. It's just the fool's journey. I'm here to give you a different perspective, even on the things that seem self-explanatory or like it has no meaning. Everything does. And sometimes my messages are more metaphorical rather than straightforward, where it's like, it's like a very sneaky like meaning to it. If you like a personal reading, all of that is down below. And lastly, there's no rules here. There's the overall art and the underlying stuff. You can get everything here. Just like my art is an optical illusion, so are my messages, like I said. And I also describe it so that you can sort of get your own feel for it. What I started drawing for you was a straight up fingerprint. We all have our own unique print or DNA that is used to protect or identify us. The first thing I heard was a digital fingerprint. Beware of scams or leaving any type of identifiable trace on you. This includes personal info. I'm also seeing the fingerprint in a sense where most of us use it as extra security so people can't get into our phones or accounts. So do that. So it's like this represents protecting yourself, but also not leaving a trace. It's kind of weird. I'm getting as well, you will be identified in some way. I'm getting the scenario of one like looking at footprints and knowing whose shoes they are or knowing what brand of shoe. Looking at someone's handwriting or communication style and going, I know exactly who that is. It's like you can hear them speaking or like know what their personality is like based off of it. Even if you can't physically tell. This reminds me too of how in true crime, DNA is used as a confirmation or a last resort when there's literally no other evidence to make it go faster. It's like accidentally leaving a trace, otherwise the case is cold. Lastly, I feel highly drawn to how ironic it is that the very thing we used to up the protection on our accounts, bank accounts, etc., is also used to criminalize or prosecute. Like, how much of our DNA, aka information, is actually safe or actually private? Is what you're doing actually private? I mean, you can get like something about like you doing something, thinking it's like, oh, no one's around, no one's looking, there's no way anyone would know this, but it's not as private as you think. It's kind of weird, but that's the reality. So I want you to take that into consideration. It seems so simple, but the relation of the two is screaming at me in that way. It's like the very same thing that protects us is actually like exploiting us. It's just like your secret's safe with me, that's what I'm hearing. Telling each other secrets kind of bonds people together. It gives others a false sense of security and trust. But now, it's like that person holds damaging and or private info on you to use it any way they want. That's the art theme here. It's a false sense of security. Something is a false sense of security. It's like letting one's guard down. This could even be in the form of using weak passwords, using the same password for everything, or leaving some type of digital footprint or fingerprint. I'm getting as well, once it's out there, it's out there. Deleting or rephrasing, if this is in person, because I was getting two very major examples. It's like rephrasing or deleting doesn't ensure it's gone or won't be repeated to another. It's like your information is never truly safe. So yeah. A false sense of security. So it's like you feel secure, but it's not secure enough. Whoa. We have, that came out really fast. We have temperance. I'm seeing this as quite literally mixing something together. I heard like mixing business with pleasure. It's kind of like those people that go to work and kind of like air out their dirty laundry. It's like those are the types of people that always wonder, it's like, why does everyone know this about me? Why am I even being spoken about? It's like, maybe because you're bringing something here that should really be left at home. So I'm saying be wary of mixing business with pleasure, or being like too upfront is what I want to say. Kind of seeing the triangle there. I know this is fire, this is Sagittarius, but I'm kind of seeing the triangle represents, like, you know how people say love triangle? But I'm seeing this equates to like speaking, all intertwined. Maybe I'm getting like a false sense of peace. It's like, oh, like this everything's fine, but it's really not fine, because it kind of reminds me of contamination. It's like, you don't, like, if someone orders like an orange juice and this person's wants milk, like, ew, like, you can't mix those two. It just doesn't work. So it's like something gives you the confidence, or like you feel like you can trust it. It's like talking to people, telling them your secrets usually makes you feel like, gives this illusion of trust, but it's not. So we have Page of Cups. I've seen the Page of Cups as, so this is very evident in like teenagers or young people using social media. It's like they post all of their outfits, they post their locations, they post what they're doing throughout the day, and that makes them, even if nothing happens, that makes you a target for like stalkers. It's like you're leaving a digital footprint, literally. It's like you can be tracked that way. Your other parts of you can be discovered just by one thing. Just by looking at a street sign. It's like that deep. So there's something about being presented, information being presented, or mixed. Just even look at the Page of Cups' outfit. Sometimes wanting to brag can lead to unsafe situations. It's just kind of how I'm seeing it. Page of Pentacles. Oh my god. I'm seeing the Temperance here as like contamination. Usually DNA, it's like people unknowingly leave a trace or unknowingly leave DNA. It's like they're touching everything. It's because they're curious or they don't realize it. This Page of Cups looks like, Page of Pentacles. We have two pages side by side, but this one is water. This one is earth. It's like while you're doing this, someone else is like, oh my god, DNA, information, the missing piece, the missing fingerprint. Even these colors on this card are like mixing together perfectly. Or even seeing in my head, you know how it's like prove you're a human things where it's like you slide the puzzle piece over, or it's like a piece of art, or it's like click on the taxi cabs. That's how I'm seeing this too. It's like prove you're a human, prove you are this person. Three of Wands. Ace of Wands. Ooh, that came out. Eight of Pentacles. And then the Tower. Seeing the Eight of Pentacles as a place of work where you are a majority of the time. And I just got this scenario / envisionment of like this being a key. It's like a key to other things. I'm gonna get an oracle card. Seeing the Tower here is access denied, like how you put in the wrong password and it's like access denied. And then once again, we have 3 people here that I put emphasis on that triangle. False sense of security. You can think you trust them, but it's like now they're trying to get into your things, or now they want to know more about you. Doesn't necessarily have to be that, like, significant, but it's like access denied. It looks like it hurts, like, you know, like after you're rejected or like after you're not like given access, it's like these people are being thrown out of the building. It's that hard to do. So it's like you have to make it hard for people to have access. You kind of have to lead them astray. I'm really drawn to how in the Temperance, 1 foot is in the water, but then the 3 of Wands, both feet are on land, and it's like they're just carefully waiting. We have Advocate. Inspires you to put compassion into action. Then we have embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. This reminds me of how people only ask about you or ask about your day because they want to use that information for something else or because it's for personal gain. It's kind of like someone wanting to be an advocate for an organization because they want to smuggle half the money for themselves, or it's just under the guise of charity work, but it's actually like, I'm benefiting from this the most. Remember I was getting it was screaming at me, the relation between, it's like the very thing that prosecutes you is supposed to protect you. It's kind of like this. Sometimes people that are advocates, the very ones that are supposed to protect you or be your voice, are in fact not. Even getting this scenario, this could apply to like maybe a bank teller. It's like they deal with multiple people's accounts, but it's very easy for them, even though they probably wouldn't, because that would mean they lose their job, and there's a lot of security these days, but it's like someone being in that position where they're handling everyone else's personable, identifiable documents. That's very easy to do. That would be a great example of that. So it's like your information is really not safe because you're handling it with someone like it's an inside job. So I'm just getting something about protecting your things. Because a lot of it people don't bat an eye about. They don't think of it for like a second time. But it makes a lot of sense. See, like there it is. It's like that trust. It's like I can tell them anything. It's like your secret's safe with me. But that very word, that very thing, that's really funny. Come on, Queen of Cups, 3 of Cups. We even have 3 over here, a triangle. This involves 3 people. Okay, Libra. That's the end of this art channeled message. Please like, subscribe, support the channel in any way you can. I'd really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, remember, it's the overall art and the underlying stuff. It's like, what do you think I'm trying to get across, even if it's not so direct? Especially when you look at the cards or look at what I said versus what I channeled in the beginning. It's like, who are you working with? What are you saying? Like, have you left any like digital footprints, fingerprints without even realizing it? So like, are you really secure and protected? You can even see that on a massive scale. Is our information really that protected? Or are we all being exploited? It's the very thing that's supposed to protect is used to prosecute or abuse. Number 3 is very important. I just finished up your reading, and I always have some type of conclusion or extra bit of info. I said there was so much emphasis on Three of Cups. I'm seeing that equals like inside job. Usually things are always an inside job. It's like, oh, who got this? Who said that? And it's usually always on like inner circle. And I gave a great example of that being this illusion of security being within the bank. Bank tellers, or the people that work with your private info, it's like they have more of an advantage or responsibility than you think. It's very similar to that. It's like usually it's always an inside job, or the person that has ownership or control over the organization, the field, the whatever. So take that as you will, especially if this kind of stuff, you feel like it's happening to you a lot more.